The Baroque vocal category, this year supported by one of the award's most loyal sponsors, Mrs. Joan Jones, saw Bach's St. Matthew Passion from Sir John Eliot Gardiner and a further volume of Monteverdi madrigals from Les Arts Florissants pipped to the post by a collection of Bach cantatas from the countertenor Iestyn Davies with Arcangelo directed by Jonathan Cohen on Hyperion. And we're delighted to welcome back to the awards Iestyn Davies.
Horrible listening to yourself. Right. Thank you very much, and thank you in particular to Gramophone and for this award. And happy 40th anniversary to Gramophone. It was about this week, 20 years ago, that I decided to sing countertenor. And in doing so, a friend of mine, who's a composer called Richard Baker, who was head of composition at my school, gave me a CD and said, "You've got to listen to this. It's really rather good." And I did, and it stuck with me for a long time, and that was a recording by Andreas Scholl of Bach cantatas. And over the next year, I listened to it endlessly and, imitated and copied and learnt things. So it's particularly poignant that here, 20 years later, recording the same repertoire, I've got this award. So, of course, I begin by thanking Andreas, who's, of course, not here, but I'm sure he'll agree that there can never be too many Bach recordings. Down to the CD, I'd like to thank everybody in the orchestra. Arcangelo is a wonderful group of players put together by Jonathan Cohen, who is here on table 11. In particular, Katarina Spreckelson, who's oboe playing throughout these cantatas, was second to none. Johnny, of course, your wonderful direction. Mark Fingers Williams on the organ, who wanted to be thanked particularly because I think the review got the wrong player. Anyway. He probably didn't want me to call him Fingers either. I'd also like to thank Tim Oldham and Dave Hynett, who produced and recorded, engineered this disc. They brought a particularly special quality in St. Jude's, a wonderful sound of beautiful ensemble, which is a true hallmark of Hyperion, I think. And finally, of course, to Hyperion, to Simon Perry, for putting faith in me and Johnny and Arcangelo. And we hope we continue to make more of these discs. And one final thing to Gerard Collett, the wonderful photographer, who managed to take a picture of me that persuaded Simon not to delve once again into the Bridgman Art Collection for another painting. And I hope Gramophone continues for another 40 years, and perhaps if we're doing our job correctly, in another 20 years, maybe there'll be a young countertenor now who's listened to this CD and was inspired, as I was, by Andreas Scholl. Thank you very much.